Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Learn More with Kani. My name is Akalimo Ian, and today we are going to be continuing where we stopped on how to use ChatGPT perfectly from beginner to pro. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at how to upload files and work with them on ChatGPT. What we are trying to do is to make ChatGPT our personal assistant. So whether you are a student or a teacher or a business owner or just somebody who wants to understand AI. So you can configure ChatGPT and you can use it in such a way that it becomes your personal assistant. And one of the things that will happen is in the course of your work, you will definitely have to work with files. Sometimes you review files in your office. Sometimes you have to, maybe you're given an assignment and it requires you analyzing a spreadsheet or what have you. So in all of this, our work relationship with files is one that is undeniable. So in this episode, we are going to look at how to work with files. ChatGPT has the ability to work with different file formats. The first category of files are the text and documents. So that's your .txt files, files from Notepad. It can also work with files from Microsoft Word, that's the .doc or .docx files. It can also work with documents from PDF. ChatGPT also can work with spreadsheets. So spreadsheets like files from Microsoft Excel, it could be in the format of XLS or CSV files. So these are all spreadsheet file formats. So you can upload those to ChatGPT and it will be able to recognize them and work with them. ChatGPT can also work with presentation files. That's files from Microsoft PowerPoint. So you can upload your presentation here and have it analyze it for you. It can also work with image files. So your JPEG, your PNG files, you can upload it and then ChatGPT will definitely analyze it and respond to your prompt. And as of right now, ChatGPT can also work with code files. So if you're a software developer or one who is into coding, you can upload your Python files, you can upload your JavaScript files, your HTML files, and also even your XML files. And it can help you debug it or even find errors in the code. So all of these are file formats that can work with ChatGPT as of right now. So of course, if there's any change in the future, you can be sure that I'm going to bring it up and also carry us along. So having said that, let's get to ChatGPT and upload files. When you open ChatGPT, if you had watched my previous video, you will see that if there are a few differences or a few changes that have been made to the user interface. And so if you haven't watched the video, please go back and look at the video before watching this one because this is a continuation of that one. I'm going to put the link to the previous video in the description. Now, prior to this time, where we have this button, ChatGPT, initially it had three different menus: ChatGPT Plus, ChatGPT, and also temporary chat, where you can toggle a button and have it save or not save your chat. But in this case, it has been relocated. The third button has been relocated, and now you have it here by your avatar. So this is where you can toggle the temporary chat off and on, right? So I wanted you to take note of that. And also, if you look at this message bar where you're supposed to type your prompt, prior to this time, we had some buttons down here. Before now, we used to have some prompt templates, but that has been taken away. But what they've done is to add new tools here. So image DALL-E and canvas. So canvas is where it's like a playground where you can see how, in case you're, which we're going to look at actually in the course of the class, where you've instructed ChatGPT to create a document for you. It will separate the screen in such a way that you see your charts and also see the canvas where it is doing that, whether it's an image it's creating for you or a document. So we'll look at that. DALL-E used to be a standalone app where you go there and all you do is just to do text to image, which we'll get to in a future video. But they've embedded it into ChatGPT. So while in ChatGPT, you can actually generate an image, but that's not the scope of the class today. Okay, so what we want to look at today is how to upload files. But again, also, there's something I also wanted to show us. In our last discussion where we learned prompt engineering, I told you about this history pane, whereby every discussion you've had with ChatGPT is saved here for you to be able to recall it at a later time. Maybe you want to continue the discussion or just want to review it, right? So now we have it saved here. But if you notice here, sometimes this list has been populated because, I mean, each time you use ChatGPT, it saves it. And sometimes you really can't keep track of what is what because it just picks the name here at random based on the prompt. So sometimes that makes it hard for you to even understand where you are. But here, first thing you can share this your chat. So whatever you chatted, you can share it with a friend, maybe to continue the discussion or just for the person to add input. You can rename. I'm going to rename it so we'll see how that works. You can also archive it and you can delete it. So let's rename this. So how to bake cake. So I'm going to rename it to prompt engineering. So once you finish typing, you press enter. So you can see here it has changed to prompt engineering. So which means even if I have a plethora of chats here, I can just go straight to this one and know that, oh, in this chat, I was discussing prompt engineering. So it makes it easy for you to navigate. And also, I can archive it. So which means I don't want it listed here. I just want it to be put in a different storage that ChatGPT has, right? And then I can delete. If I click on delete, it gives me the option to either delete or cancel. So when I delete, it's going to clear it from my memories, but I don't want to delete that. I'm just going to cancel. All right, so I just wanted to do that little housekeeping before we dive straight into it. With ChatGPT, right, you can upload files, and I showed us here this plus button here, where if you click on it, it gives you the option to upload files. Now, there are three options here. One, you can connect ChatGPT to Google Drive. So if your files are in Google Drive, you can connect ChatGPT to Google Drive and retrieve those files there and work with it here. So that's one source of imputing your or uploading your files to ChatGPT. The next one is to connect to Microsoft OneDrive. So if you're using Microsoft OneDrive, you can also connect it here and have that as your source for your files, right? I don't use Microsoft OneDrive, so I won't be looking at that. I'll show us how to connect to Google. And the next here is how to upload from your computer. So if I click on this, it's just going to load where my files are, and then I can upload the files there. So uploading from computer is what I will dwell on mostly, because that's most likely what you will be doing. I mean, if you're not using Google Drive, but I just want to show us how to connect to Google Drive. There are two methods of doing this. The first method, you can go to your avatar, click on that, and you see this list here. Go to settings, and you see connected apps, right? So it lists Microsoft of OneDrive, Google Drive. So you click on connect. On where you have Google Drive, you click on connect, and it's going to load up a screen because now you are going to be connecting using your email address, right? So most likely it's going to be the same email address you're using in ChatGPT. But if that's not the case, you can also still work with another email address. So you click on that, choose the email you want to work with it, and of course, grant it permission. It shows us here that it's been connected to Google. So you can see it's connected. I can also disconnect it from Google if you don't want it to. And of course, there's a risk here. I mean, connecting to Google. Basically, what I would say is, as far as ChatGPT is concerned, you want to be careful with your personal information. I will always stress that you want to be careful with sharing your personal information. So I can connect it here and also disconnect. I click on disconnect, it's disconnected, right? So I have disconnected it, but this is just showing you one way to connect and disconnect. Another way is to click on the plus button where you have upload files and more, and then go to connect to Google. Then you select the email address that you want it to connect to your Google Drive. Continue. So it shows that it's connected. So what it's supposed to show here, it says there's an error. The API developer key is invalid. But normally this window is supposed to show your Google Drive, and then you can pick your files there. But so if on your own screen it shows, please go ahead and work with that. But in this video, we are going to be working more with uploading from our computer. Okay. So let's get to it. I'm going to disconnect it again. So you have to go back to the settings and then disconnect it from there. So I think there's an issue. It's unable to connect to apps generally. All right. Okay, so we've seen how to connect to Google and also to disconnect from Google. So now we are going to be looking at how to upload the files from your computer. But you click on upload from computer, it's going to bring up this dialog box, and this is where you choose where you have your files saved. So I'm going to start with a spreadsheet. So when you click on the upload from computer button, it will bring up a dialog box. So this is where you can search for your files, and we are going to be starting with a spreadsheet. Now, because of the sensitivity of the data, all these are sample data that I have put up here just to help us understand it. In your own case, it might definitely be a real data either from your office or from your business, right? But for the purpose of this, I didn't want to bring any sensitive data up here, so I hope you understand that. So I have Tech Nova Sales Q1 report, right? So I'm going to upload this file here, and you can see here it's uploading, and once it's done, you have the file up there and it's waiting for you to ask it anything. But this is one thing you will need to know so that you can be sure that ChatGPT understands what you're talking about or can even read the files, right? So you have to, in this case, I'm going to open my file. So you can see here that this is a company that has different products, EcoBud, Home Shield, and this spreadsheet also has different worksheets. So you have January with its own. So this is a company sales data, of course. So in January, these are all the sales they made. February and March. All right. So it has 5 products. I sorted them in alphabetical order so that it's easy for us to actually work with. In this case, what I want to do is to know the highest selling product. And in here, I'll sum them into this, right? So EcoBoard has the highest sales, 1,871 in January, and in February it sold for this. So you want to see if ChatGPT can even read the data. So I'm going to ask it, how many products does the company sell? Just to test it and be sure that it can read my file. And it does its normal thing, it's analyzing the file. Okay, so it shows us here the company sells a total of 5 different products. Let me know if you need more details. So this is now where we are going to be having the conversational prompts. I'm going to say list them. Okay, so it has listed this one. It says there are 5 products. We have EcoBud, Nano Speaker, Smart Hub, Vision Pad, Pulse Fit. Let's see if these are on my spreadsheet also. So that way I'll be confident enough to know that it can read my file. So have EcoBoard, yes. Home Shield. Do we have Home Shield? Because I have here Power Max 10. I also have Quantum Laptop, Smart Nova. So you didn't read that. So I want to be sure. So this is what you need to do because sometimes these things can goof. So I'm going to say that doesn't seem correct. Can you read data from the column? So it's going to analyze it. So this is very important. I like that this is happening because you want to be sure that you are getting the right data. So now you can see, I said that I texted it here, that doesn't seem correct. Can you read the data from the product column? He now says, so we have Smart Nova TV, I think this is correct now. So we have Smart Nova TV, Quantum Laptop, yeah, that's correct. Power Max 10K, good. Home Shield Cam, we have Home Shield Cam here, that's correct. So you can see this is now the correct data. So don't just upload files and run with it. The first thing you want to do is to check if ChatGPT can actually read your data. If I ran with this, I was definitely going to be running into problems because what it gave me here, I don't know where it got this from, but I had to check it. So don't just upload files, test it to see if it can read your files. Now that I know it can read my files, I can now ask it which is the best selling product. So it's analyzing, it's doing its thing. So the best-selling product is EcoBots Pro with a total of 500 and blah, blah, blah number of sales. So you can also fact check this data, okay? So if I go here, which is what I did, I'm going to launch my calculator. So I'm going to add EcoBot. In January, EcoBot sold 1,875. So that's 1,875 plus. In February, let's see how many sales they made. 1,851. And then in March, let's see what we had. In March, the sales 1,648. So it gives me 5,374. Let me check what ChatGPT gave me. And ChatGPT gave me the same lesson. So I can tell that this is correct. So now I have the confidence that ChatGPT can read the files, the data on my spreadsheet, and not just a single spreadsheet. If you notice, my spreadsheet has multiple worksheets in them. So if you have the different worksheets there, ChatGPT can also read that. So let me ask, which is the poor performing product? So the poor performing product is the Quantum Laptop, and it has sold this number of quantities. So let me ask, okay, so I'm asking what is the trend and what strategies can we use to improve sales? Mind you, we are working off of the file that we have uploaded. Okay, so this is what it's going to do. Say to analyze sales, I'll first look at it. Look at what we have here. It has generated for us a chart, right? And it has given us strategies to boost sales. This is the chart it has generated for us based on our data, which is from the file we uploaded. So you can see here that just by uploading that file, I have been able to work with it, asking questions. Those of you who are vast, the accountants and the rest of that, who do data analysis. So you can see here that you can work with this comfortably. Okay, so that's one aspect of working with a file, uploading a file with a spreadsheet In this case, this was an Excel file. It wasn't a CSV file. But if you have a CSV file, those of you who work with spreadsheets, you will understand that you can upload it here as well and also have it work for you. Okay, so this is a very beautiful example, and we can see that ChatGPT indeed can read these files and also analyze them for us. So we'll move on to the next one, which is actually a document file. I'm going to upload it here again. So I have a business agreement. So I've uploaded it here. So I'm going to ask it a few questions. What are the names, to be sure that it can read the data in this? What are the names of the companies in this agreement? So we have company A and company B. So that's correct. And let's confirm that. So I have company A and I also have company B. This is what I want you to do. I want you to scan the document and identify red flags in the agreement. Red flags and bad clauses. So if you have, maybe you're going into business with somebody, or maybe somebody has given you an agreement and you don't have, maybe you can't pay the lawyer, you can't pay a lawyer, at the at the moment. Sorry, lawyers. These are some of the fields that will be impacted by AI. Not totally, but I mean, you can see in this case now, this is a question I should have asked a lawyer and probably would have parted with money. But with ChatGPT, I think I'm going to be able to achieve that. So I want you to go through this business agreement and identify the clauses and the red flags for me. This is beautiful. It's opening it in what we call the canvas. So this is where my prompt is. Remember I told you about canvas, right? So this is where we have the canvas, where it is showing me what it is doing as it is generating this. So if it's also generating an image, this is the canvas on the right hand side here. This is where you have your chat. I can still chat with it here. So I'm going to tell it to highlight the bad clauses and red flags. So look at what's going on. So it is highlighting it and giving us, options. So why is this a bad clause? It said consider, it's telling you now what to do. Consider negotiating a shorter non-compete period and limiting the geographic scope and all of that. So you can see here it has gone through the documents for us and has identified this, and not just highlighting these things, it has also told us what to do. So in this case, it's acting as your attorney, your lawyer. This is the beauty of it, where you can upload your files to ChatGPT. This could be a business transaction that you really don't understand, right? And because you don't have the money to pay a lawyer, an attorney at the moment, you can just upload that file, that document here, and question ChatGPT, and it will definitely give you the response that you deserve. All right. So this is another beautiful use case of uploading files. If you're a student or a teacher, you can upload a research file and also have it, go through that for you. That's also possible. Okay. The next one I'm going to look at is how to work with a presentation. So I'm going to upload a presentation from my computer. I have here corporate branding. This is a training that I did a few years ago about branding. So I'm going to upload it here and ask ChatGPT what are the areas that I can improve on this. So let's assume, this was like 2 years ago, and let's assume I have, it's such a training again today. What are the new things I can add, or how can I improve on what I had 2 years ago? And let's see what I will do. And this is a presentation file from Microsoft PowerPoint. So I'll upload that there. I have this corporate branding, but I'm going to test it also. What is this presentation about? To be sure that you can read it. All right. So you can see here it has gone through that, and it's telling me definition of a branding and all of that. So I know that it has read through the document and it can also analyze it. So this now gives me the confidence to ask it the questions. So I'm going to ask it here. I say, improve the wording of these slides for impact. All right. So it takes us to the canvas again. And now it has embellished my presentation. So if this is what I want to do, actually, I can just have it here, look through what I did before, and then add new information. And you can see what it has added here. So yours might not be this. Yours could be maybe a presentation that somebody has sent to you to go through, or maybe you have a presentation that you are supposed to deliver somewhere. You can, after doing that, just bring it to let it brush through it and then see what's missing, what can be added. But the whole essence of this is to show you that you can actually feed it files and then work with that. So I'm asking you, what are the 3 key takeaways from this presentation? Brand perception is everything. Consistency builds trust. Long-term impact, and all of that. So it has analyzed and summarized my presentation for me. This could also happen to you as well. So these are the different use cases. You can see that we've worked with a spreadsheet and it did that perfectly well. We've worked with a Word document and it has done that also perfectly well. And now we are working with a presentation file. It has read the presentation file and has also carried out the analysis that I've asked it for. The next we are going to be looking at is how to work with an image file. I do not code, so I can't speak on how to add code files. But I mean, based on what we've seen so far, it's possible for you to upload your code files and then instruct and prompt ChatGPT to give you the response that you expect. Okay, I'm going to upload an image file, a recent logo that I designed for a client. And I want you to, and again, this is for logo designers because at the core, I'm a graphic designer, right? So I design logos, UI, UX, and the whole 9 yards. So I recently designed a logo, and one thing sometimes we may struggle with, especially for designers, sometimes, not all the times, you may struggle with putting the words together to actually explain, how you arrived at, the logo that you want, so the rationale and the rest of that, or even just generating text. If you're building a brand manual, how can you generate the text? So again, ChatGPT is not taking over the work from us, but it's an assistant. So I want it to do the heavy lifting for me, and then I'll just come in and then tweak here and there. So in this case, I've uploaded a logo file, and I'm going to ask it to be sure that you can read the logo file. I'm going to ask it the name of the company. The company name is Lucris Consulting. All right. So you can see here it says the company name is Lucris Consulting. Beautiful. So I'm going to ask it what are the colors you can see. So this is going to show that truly it can read the files. And again, this is an image file. It can also read an OCR file, a scanned document, maybe scanned to PDF and all. Whichever file it is, the first thing you want to do is once you upload it here, ask it a few trivia questions to be sure that you can read the files, and before you even go ahead to prompt it. Don't just upload and then you can see what happened with the spreadsheet. It could have given us a wrong response. So be careful with that. Okay, so now it shows that it has a teal, blue, black, gray, white. Okay, so that's very, very correct. So now I am confident in asking it the next question. I'm going to ask you to write the rationale for me. So let me give it a little clue to see. So this is actually a fusion of L and C. The blue shows the L and the C is from the teal color. That forms a C as well. So it's just fusion of the L and C. That's the only hint I'm going to give it, and then have it do the rest. So with that, I need you to write the logo rationale for me. So here we go to the canvas again. Okay, so it has given me, the letter fusion. Lucris is a thoughtful fusion of symbolism reflecting blah, blah, blah. So you can see it gives me the teal color, the blue color, what the color represents, and all of that. These are the things that I can put in my brand manual, or even when I'm sending the file to the client to explain my thought process. I could as well have told it to act as Saul Bass, or Paul Rand. Those of you who are the designers understand who these two people are, right? So I could tell it to channel those people and then give me the response that I desire, right? What I just want us to see here is that it can read an image file, it can read a presentation, it can read a spreadsheet, all right? It can also read a document, a Microsoft Office document, right? So these are the 4 that we've tested so far. So the last one I want to look at, which is actually where I'm going to spend some time on, I'm going to upload a PDF and then show you how you can walk your way and derive different information that will really, really help. So this is the Future of Jobs Report 2025, and this was published after the World Economic Forum that happened in Davos, all right, Switzerland. So, and this is the report that came out of that summit, and it's a very large document, I must say. It's a 290-page document, just to be sure that it can read the data. And also notice I asked it earlier, when was it published? This again, just like the spreadsheet, didn't give me the response I wanted. So I had to check again and be sure that it can read the report. All right, so I uploaded it again, and then it shows here that the name of the report is Future of Jobs Report 2025, published by the World Economic Forum. These are correct information, right? So Future of Jobs Report, published by World Economic Forum. Now I have the confidence to ask it any question I want to ask it. So I'm going to put the first prompt. I say here, summarize this document in 5 key points. Now, if you've noticed a trend here, what we are doing is a conversational prompt that we are doing with ChatGPT. So I've given it a report. So every other thing follows after that report. So Even if you can see that in the same chat, I've used spreadsheet, I've used all the other file formats, but it hasn't mistaken one for the other, because it knows where the discussion with the spreadsheet stopped and where the discussion with the document file started from. So there's no mix up. It doesn't mean you cannot use it, have a different a new chat for each of them. You can do that as well, but I just didn't want to bug us with that. I just wanted to have everything in situ. All right, so summarize this document in 5 key points. So this could be you. This could be in your office. I chose this because it's actually relatable. Future of Jobs Report in 2025. You probably may not have seen this document, but this is a document that was released. So how can you make sense of that? Just like me, I mean, you may not have the time to go through all 290 pages, right? But you can bring it to ChatGPT and have it do that heavy lifting for you. So here it says, I actually summarized it in 5 key points. And it says here are the 5 key points, and it went through that: the impact of technological advancement, job market shift, skill disruption, influence of global macro trends, and then the green transition and economic adaptation. So if this is all I want, I'm fine. So I have an idea of what the report talked about. All right. Yours may not be a report. Yours might be a research paper. Yours might be an assignment, whatever it is. So you can upload it and then have ChatGPT, help you to make sense of it. Okay. So I'm going to try another prompt. So I'm asking it to summarize the top emerging job roles and also the declining job roles. So it's going to go through the file. So top emerging from 2025 to 2030. So these are the top emerging job roles, and you can see here AI and machine learning is there. Okay, and the ones that are declining, this is real data, so you might also learn something from this. So have data entry clerks, bank tellers. So these are the declining job roles. So in the next 5 years, these job roles might be extinct or basically face a steep decline. So we'll try another prompt here. As a business leader, seeing these reports now, what are the key takeaways for business leaders? Again, extracting all of this from ChatGPT. So he's saying for business leaders, prioritize workforce reskilling and upskilling, embrace technology for automation strategically, adapt to global macro trends. This is quite beautiful, right? So ChatGPT has helped us to do the heavy lifting. This is a 290-page document. I don't have time to read everything, but my ability to prompt it, to ask it the right questions that elicits the right answers that I want, I'm able to make sense of this report, and then also know how to apply it to my business. Or if you're a student, if you're a teacher, what can you do out of this? Or if somebody is coming to make a presentation to you, either a pitch deck or whatever, anything, and if they've sent you their presentation ahead of time, you can just bring it to ChatGPT and tell it to scan through it and give you the right questions to ask this person. If it's your teacher, if it's your student, all right, if it's an investor. So once it goes through that, goes through your contract, whatever the case may be, right? So it's able to look through that and then provide you with information. So you walk into such a meeting very confident, of course, asking very intelligent questions, and then could seal a deal or get a job, or pass an exam. Anything, the list is endless, right? So this is the beauty of ChatGPT helping you to upload your files and also work with your files. So like I said, I wasn't able to connect it for some reason. My computer, I don't know if it's a computer issue, but it talked about the API key. So I couldn't get this from Google Drive, even though I had linked it with Google Drive, but it couldn't fetch me my file. So that shouldn't stop you from trying. You've seen the process. So once you try it, you can also upload your files either from Google Drive or from Microsoft OneDrive. I chose to do it directly from my local computer. But you've seen how it was easy for us to walk through all these different file types. So again, like I always said, my job here is just to show you how it's done. It's your job to take it and exponentially, increase it. Try out so many things. Now that you see that it's possible, it can be done. Again, also anything we've done here, you can do it on your mobile phone. But what I would always want you to do is whatever file you upload, please, before you even start prompting it, you can see how it has made 2 mistakes. I always say this is, at the end of the day, it's a computer. It can make mistakes. Even they have a disclaimer that sometimes it can give you false information. So you want to make sure that you fact check it so that you don't embarrass yourself. All right. So that's basically how it is, and that's what I wanted to show us. So please, if you have made sense of this, if this added value to you, if you've gotten any value from this video, please ensure to like, subscribe, share this video. There are a lot more coming, a whole lot more. When it comes to AI, you won't be overwhelmed anymore because we are going to be trashing everything. We've started with text. This is just text to text. We are at LLM now. We are going to be looking at text to image where you can generate images. We're going to also look at text to video where you can give it a prompt and generate a video. Exciting times ahead, trust me. Thank you for those of you who have subscribed. Thank you for the comments. I saw them, I responded to them too. Please share to as many people as possible because I don't want anybody to be left behind. That's actually my goal. I've seen a lot of people who are overwhelmed. Some are scared. Some don't even know, what next to do. You can see here also that we analyzed a business agreement. That's taking money from a lawyer, actually, because I know I've actually paid for this service before, but now I can't do that. It doesn't mean that lawyers are out of business, right? So it just depends on what you can get out of it. My goal for you is that you are not left behind. I don't want you to be scared of the future. I don't want you to be scared of losing your job or losing your business. No, let's see how to leverage this. For a designer, instead of you spending time thinking of what to write or thinking of how to articulate your thoughts in your rationale, you can upload it, give it a few cues, and then it will do that for you. So you walk in there, with an intelligent product. It's actually here to help you if you know how to use it. And the how to is what we are looking at, how to prompt it and the different things you can do with it. So thank you very much. I'm grateful that you could stay this long to the end of the course. That was it for me. My name is Akanimo Iyang, and this was Learn More with Kani.